Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Airing It Out podcast live. I am Dustin Marion, my partner in crime, Hollow Clutch. What is going on, Hollow, and how are you doing, bro?
What's poppin', brother? This has been today. I don't know what it is. It's like it's been a different energy.
Right?
Like I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast with homeboy Marcus Luttrell, the homeboy from Lone Survivor that Marky Mark played.
Okay, cool.
And homeboy
he motivated you,
inspired me, and motivated me, kind of shit. Like homeboy went through all that shit, and then went back out again.
Wow.
So it wasn't like that was his last thing. Like he went out and re-enlisted and went out again. So I was like,
that movie's crazy too, because like those dudes are like throwing themselves off the side of the mountain, and then when the help comes, the rocket goes right into the back of the help, and it's like goodbye. What did he say about that movie? How accurate was all of that?
He said he's seen maybe 5 to 10 minutes of it because
it was too much post-traumatic stress.
He was there for the director's cut. Was his term? Was what he said. Which I could agree. You know, you see a homeboys die, your brothers die in front of you, kind of thing. And I could only imagine how something like that, you know, could fuck with you, kind of thing. So, you know, he said he didn't see the movie, but he's the one who he picked the director. He picked, you know, he was like mess with anybody who was with the lawyers who were producing the film, anybody who was like hands on with the film, like he had to get a good vibe from that person in order to give it over. So it was an interesting podcast to listen to.
That's his most recent? That's Joey's most recent one?
I think it's the most recent one. I think it was yesterday.
So I'm going to tease it out because I sent it to you. Next week, we're going to do the movie Cherry by Anthony and Joe Russo, who did the Avengers, and it stars Tom Holland.
Okay,
bro, that movie's it touches a little bit on the PTSD. That shit is real, bro. It's crazy. So we'll check that one out. Hopefully, we can get back up to some winning records.
Right now, 1-5.
Speaking,
we'll get when we get to the critics corner.
Yeah, we're gonna. I know. I can't wait till you go have.
Today's gonna be I think, to no lie, I think I'm gonna get canceled off this.
Let's go. We're gonna get big today. We're gonna get big. By the way, bro, I feel you too. Got a lot of energy. I'm excited. I sent you my man already. You know, got me feeling good about myself. Shout out to Ice-T. Liked one of my quotes. I told him thanks for laying down the blueprint. He dropped some stuff about believing in yourself and stuff on Insta, and I just retweeted it or whatever. But we were just talking about war. It seems like things are getting a little crazy back to back. Is it even 2 weeks with these shootings, or is it like 9 days?
Around there,
right?
It's basically 2 weeks.
So in 2 weeks, 2 mass shootings, and we haven't had a mass shooting. Well, we've had some crazier things happen, but we haven't had a mass shooting in a hot minute since COVID happened.
True.
Right? I mean, BLM. We got beat up by the police. We got beat up by the police. I don't mean to laugh like that, but yeah.
Those lines. But it's funny how it comes full circle now that Black Lives Matter and everybody was supporting and sucking the Black Lives Matter dick. Now, and then we're trying to get mad at anybody who would say all lives matter are now saying all lives matter. You know, like.
Oh, they changed the rhetoric now? Everybody's jumping on the other bandwagon?
Exactly. So, like, if you were to go say all lives matter,
you would get
some pushback, even to this day. But if you said Asian lives matter, Hispanic lives matter, if you said them individually, it's more acceptable to people, which is fucking retarded, in my opinion. But we just see how the media plays games and exploits. You know, let's break it down.
Yeah.
So let's start in Atlanta.
Right. So this young man goes to 3 separate massage parlors and guns down different groups of people at each parlor. I think it was a total of 8, and 6 of the 8 were Asian.
Correct. So now here's my issue with the whole thing. Like, people lost lives. I don't want to take away from anything about that.
Not at all.
But the media and all these fucking left-wing feminists went straight on it was look, he targeted Asian thing. He targeted Asians, and he targeted Asian women, and he targeted women, and this is what it was. What about the white guy who died, who was killed? The white girl who was died and who was killed. But since they were white, they got left off the board of it being a hate crime.
Also of not being important, right? If we're talking about, I don't like this all lives matter bullshit. Lives matter. That's it.
Yeah.
We don't even got to say all, right?
No,
so
no specific lives. Yeah. Lives in general matter.
And you can't discount, like, where's the love for those two families, right? I think, to be honest with you, if I'm not mistaken, I briefly read it. I think there was a Latino that was shot in the Atlanta one.
But what I'm saying, what it comes down to is just like they were trying to exploit that it was majority women and it were Asians. Like, okay, I get it, but everybody should matter. Like anytime anybody gets murdered, no matter what ethnic background is that person, it should be considered a hate crime. Period. Like, I think murder in general, it shouldn't be like, all right, I went to go target black people or Spanish people or Jews or anybody. Now, this is more important than murder, period. So if I were to just kill another Hispanic person, it would just be murder. But if I went and killed a bunch of Jews or a bunch of black people or Asians, it's a hate crime because it supposedly is their race. So like, it shouldn't be more extenuating circumstances because it's a group of people. In my eyes, I think if you go and take somebody's life, period, no matter what color, what gender, anything, you deserve to be shot in the head, fucked in the ass 1,000 times, and then get your dick cut with paper cuts. Or if you're a woman, paper cuts all over your body. Something that it's equals the pain that you're going to leave behind to these families. And I think that the media tries to take it and make it this thing that is not. And then you got all these fucking corny ass left-wing celebrities. It's like, oh my God, it's the Asian people and the Asian community. And they're only disenfranchised right now. It's their turn of the week. And I'm like, anyone, like there's women being sexual trafficked every day.
That's another thing that I was tripping about too. That's an underlying story that's not even talked about. I would bet a good amount of money that those were sex workers too.
We don't know, so I don't want to.
I'm just saying, like,
speculation.
I'm speculating here, saying like, yes, people died, but there might be more stuff here because when you're talking about human trafficking, it's like, what was the story on those folks? You know, where they
don't even know,
right? They didn't even look into it. They didn't even look into it. Is what I'm saying, right? They grabbed the headline and they ran with it, and they ran with their hard body.
Like, what pissed me off too was they cancel the cop. I don't know if you've seen this. They went to go and they canceled the cop and saying what he said was inappropriate. The reporter went and asked him a question and saying, hey, what was the thought process of the shooter? You know, did you guys interview him?
Right.
So he comes out and he says, he was, the guy said it wasn't racially motivated, had nothing to do with them being Asian or had nothing to do with them being women. He just did some dickhead shit kind of thing. Like you could tell some of it was paraphrased and some of it wasn't. So like he was just telling you from what the guy told him, and I'm repeating it to you guys now. Mm-hmm. And then now you're trying to cancel the cop. It's like, what the fuck?
Some of the stuff that I read too, which was weird, is that I guess he came from like a really strong religious family, and they were saying also that it was like possibly like sexual oppression that made him go bananas because he had I guess they interviewed his roommate, and his roommate was like a leaky faucet, giving up goods, bad goods, who knows what goods they were. But what I find funny is how he got apprehended, because, and I'm going to try to tie this one with the other one too. If they were of a different complexion, they would have got killed, bro. You kill 8 people and you still get arrested? That's crazy to me.
Here's the issue.
A lot of these guys get arrested. Meanwhile, you get girl gets pepper sprayed to death at 9 years old for allegedly, shoplifting. Like I just, I get it that I just think this country's in a lot of different situations, bro. But whether the media is driving it, whether it's companies pushing the left, you have all these wokeists come out of left field. They try to jump on somebody's bandwagon. All of a sudden now Asians have been so oppressed. I mean, you hear that everywhere now, right? And we just came off of Equal Women's Day yesterday, equal pay for women yesterday, which I feel like we're making I was like, are we just making up holidays? I'm gonna start making up holidays. Not that I don't think that equal pay is a good thing, but we make up like a holiday holiday every day. It used to be just a couple. Now every day is a holiday. But trying to get back full circle, I just don't understand. Like I said, I think if it was a shooter of color, I mean, homeboy got shot almost 90 times for reaching for his wallet.
True.
And then this guy shoots 8 people and he's apprehended.
I gotta see the video of how he got arrested. I know they pulled him over and then they just pulled him out the car and they arrested him from what the report says. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you ever seen these guys. There's 2 twins. They're black twins. They call the conservative twins.
Okay.
They're like out of Texas, like straight hardcore,
righties.
Republican homeboys. And they were like, there needs to be a class for minorities to get arrested by the cops.
Yes,
or
I agree.
To be how to handle when you're getting pulled over by the cops, kind of thing. Because there isn't. It's always fuck you, suck my dick. I'm not gonna get arrested. I'm not getting on the ground. I'm not listening to you. Blah 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 blah. What like in those extreme circumstances? Because it's hard to know what somebody's gonna do. Anything's life and death, and this wasn't brought up. All right, it's a mass shooting in the last 2 weeks, but nobody's talked about the shooting 3 weeks ago where homegirl got pulled over in her car and shot at the cop, and the cop fired back at her, and the cop gave her every ample opportunity to surrender. She literally is running from the cop, screaming, "Help me, help me!" from the cop.
Was she a minority? Was she a minority?
Yeah, she was black. But she got pulled over because her tags. There was a warrant out for the arrest on the car for the person that was registered to the car. So she got pulled over. Got searched the car, finds weed, finds coke. He tells her chill out. He goes to the back of takes out the car, searches her bag. He walks to his car, takes out the drugs that out of her purse, puts it in his car, so she can't get rid of it. She then goes in the bag while he steps away to the car. He comes back and says, "Hey, ma'am, I'm not done with your bag yet." And she goes, "Oh, but I just want to get my lighter." He lets her go into her car, lets her go in the car, reaches into the car, fine, everything's fine. And then she comes out. She still has the bag. And he goes, "Ma'am, I need the bag now." And she goes, "No." And then she runs around the car screaming, "I need help. I need help." While the police is there who stopped her during a routine
Is this caught on video?
All on video. Wow, so I'm not making any of this up. I
gotta go watch this. This sounds crazy. How come we didn't hear about this? See, this is the shit.
Exactly. So now, because she was in the wrong, and the cop did his job, but since he did it wasn't. They couldn't paint him as the bad guy. Nobody talked about it. So she runs around the car, like I said, gets into the driver's seat. He tells her to get out the car. She refuses to get out the car. He's pulling her out the car. She refuses to get out. He takes out his taser, tases her. She still doesn't get out the car. He takes off the charge, then puts it to her skin, as opposed to how the projectile. Tases her again while she's in the seat. Then he sees she's reaching for something. She goes there and she reaches for the gun. She shoots him in the chest.
Damn.
And he returns fire, lights her up. She shoots him like two more times. She still, she had some fucking adrenaline pumping. She was able to get in the car, reverse, drive off like a half mile down, and she bled out and died.
Wow.
But none of that was talked about.
That's crazy.
And luckily, he survived. The guy, the cop.
Thank God. That's crazy, bro.
Minor things.
See, that's the kind of stories that that make. Man. Yeah, go ahead. I want you to go in, but that's the stuff that that's why these police start shooting first.
Exactly. So that's why, and I was like, I was upset because watching the shit, and I was mind-boggling to me because people were trying to crucify this cop, saying, I get it. He probably relayed saying that the guy had a bad day. Because that's what the cop said. The cop said that the guy had a bad day. But technically, he had a bad day. He made a horrible decision. When he woke up and was having a bad day. Now, does that give him the license and right to go and kill people? By no means it does. But just because the cop characterized it that way doesn't mean the cop should be crucified. The cop should have said, what? He's a fucking a Mussolini reincarnated, and he was gonna go out there and execute people. Like, what do you want someone to say? Just because he says something that you don't agree with, it doesn't mean that the guy should be fucking canceled.
I think that you gotta just get off the mic, bro. You know what I mean? Like if you're in that position, let the police chief talk about it. Let somebody higher up, because the arresting officer. I mean, I think that you're protected by the union not to say anything and not to talk.
I'm saying, like,
I got you. And
then you got all these fucking people on Good Morning America and Good News this and that saying, "Oh my God, he was so insensitive," and this is the pure definition of white privilege. I'm like, what the fuck are you like? What are you talking about?
I bet you that was a white person saying that shit.
Of course it was. White fat bitch.
I love when white people talk about white privilege. I'm like, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Like, how are you disgusted about white privilege? Like,
you have white privilege. You have white privilege, miss.
Like,
you don't have no idea what you're talking about. You're confused.
Fucking annoying.
All right,
now,
so let's
switching
right.
to homeboy in Colorado.
Yeah, right.
All right, homeboy was in Colorado. He was born in Syria. Came to the United States at 3 years old,
which makes him an American.
He's an American,
right?
When I first heard of it, I thought it was a white guy.
Me too, because this Colorado
is 99% white people who do white males are the ones who normally do mass shootings.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was that until I seen it was a Muslim dude, not Muslim. I don't want to say a Syrian guy. And so far,
Syrian American, because I feel like when they start putting Syrian, they're like, oh shit, the Middle East is invading. That's it.
American,
they're coming.
You say Syrian descent or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But he's American, born here.
He pretty much 3 years old. You don't know jack shit. I'm sure his first language is English.
He probably did some. He did some.
Another one that had a bad day.
Shit.
Another one that had a bad day.
Another one who had a terrible day. He woke up and thought his life is meaningless. And that, again, doesn't give him the license to go and kill anyone or hurt anyone.
But I feel like both of these dudes in these situations, for the little bit that I read, I feel like that they were both coming from like oppression. And what I mean by that is, and not depression, but also depression too, but oppression, like these guys were probably marginalized. These guys were probably bullied, and they just had enough. And then they went postal. They just went postal on the wrong people. You know what I mean? Because again, the other guy, this dude, I'm sure he had a bad day, and it didn't seem like he was down for the cause in the way of trying to better himself by putting himself in that situation. But I feel like everybody starts yelling about guns, and we really need to start looking at the mental health in this country. A lot of these guys, they get bullied, they get made fun of. When you're not the cool kid on the campus, you still get kind of punked around. I mean, it just sucks. It just sucks that these guys get upset.
What annoys me, sorry to cut you off.
No,
what
it's cool.
What annoys me is you got dumb fucks saying, oh, that's why AR-15s need to be banned.
That's so stupid.
Majority of mass shootings are done by handguns.
Yes.
Majority. Yes. So when somebody goes AR-15 and all these automatic weapons, first of all, automatic weapons are already illegal.
Right.
Most people don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Semi-automatic is a gun that you go boom, boom,
right.
boom, boom. So just in case the people who are out there who don't know, and if you're listening to us, go look at us on YouTube so you can see what I'm talking about. It's single shot, one at a time. You cannot hold the trigger down like you're playing paintball and it shoots out.
Or Call of Duty, hold the trigger down and it just keeps letting off.
That's illegal in America. You cannot do that. You have to. Everything has to be a single shot. So
and the AR is a single shot, correct?
Correct. Everything AR-15 is single shot. He did run around with a fucking AK-47 or a fucking Uzi.
Right.
There's nothing like that. It's
or
nothing
like M4. Right. It wasn't John Wick Part 4.
He had a handgun and he had I think an AR-15 as well. I feel bad for it was 10 people.
Yeah, I feel really bad, bro. That dude was mad brave who was going in there live streaming that shit.
Yeah, he wilded out. I think he streamed like 3 bodies and it was kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy, and it just shows how when people try to talk about, take away our guns and shit, that shit don't work, man. Like who was to say if somebody in there
had a gun, would have clapped him, and that would have been the end of that shit.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what happened, and that's what happened before in a church in Texas.
I was just gonna say Texas, they don't fuck around, bro.
and they shut that shit down real quick.
That shit would never go down in Texas. Everybody's packing, bro.
And I'm just mad. I'm just like annoyed that the media tries to politicize everything and make something more than it is, because it's not. People, there's evil people in this world from every kind of culture, race, anything, gender, and they try to just pick on specific things, and I'm just annoyed about it.
And we can't treat racism like Baskin Robbins, and every week we pick a different flavor to represent. I also think that the messaging that came out of the Democratic Party about defund the police, that was terrible. Black Lives Matter, that was terrible. Not that I don't endorse Black Lives Matter, but you're gonna piss everybody else off, because the immediate question is, don't all lives matter, right? And then now we have Asian Lives Matter. That's gonna be a new flavor of the week. We're gonna run with that, and it's just silly. And then now brings up the argument. Okay, well, are we gonna pass more legislation to ban assault rifles? That's what Biden is trying to do. But the problem is just there's a lot of states that they like their gun rights. That shit is not gonna happen. And now, what's wild? Every time there's a mass shooting, they always talk about getting more serious about gun laws. You know what happens? Because I'm out here in Cali, bro. People buy more guns. people buy more guns, bro. That's so crazy. Like, there was a thing out here in Del Mar. They have like a gun convention, right? And you could buy shit. First of all, it's always sold out to get in. It's always overpacked. Bro, ammunition, you can't even get it. You
it's
can't
like
even
gold.
Get it. Yes, it's hard. And if you do get it, it's ridiculously expensive now, right? Yep. And then guns are flying off the shelves. I mean, I feel like when it comes to the gun laws, and they say they do this background check or whatever the fuck, and it's hard because some of these guys, let's say they don't have like mental problems in their record. But maybe it's a thing that, okay, if you have a gun, you grandfathered in. You haven't killed anybody, you good, you can still buy. But I feel like if you're a new purchaser, they should do a little bit more in the background check, right? Well, maybe you should have
let's break it down, because you do, when you go to if you with your gun applications, people got a big misconception of what happens. Everybody gets a background check,
right?
You automatically from jump get a background check. Certain states you got to wait X amount of days, so it's not like
you can just give it to you. Right.
Yeah, you don't go into a Walmart and you get a 9mm gun. Right. It does not work like that. No. You can go and get a rifle or a shotgun because it's not concealed. You can't conceal those guns. And even those guns in certain states, you still have to wait a couple of days. They can sell you guns for shotguns, if I'm not mistaken, rifles, but they can't sell you ammunition with those guns, if I'm not mistaken. If you want to get it on a day of.
It's not like fucking, exactly. Commando. So, just grabbing fucking rounds.
You gotta go. You have to wait a 3-day period. And who knows? Sometimes they were saying that, like, if somebody, let's say if you're angry, right, and you want to go purchase a gun, and if normally after 2 or 3 days, the waiting period kind of cools you down, and you get checked to make sure you weren't gonna do anything stupid. So it's kind of there's parameters in place for that stuff. The only thing I wish they did do, which people can take them on their own, is go take a safety class. Kind of thing. Certain states do make you do like a kind of a safety class where you make sure you know how to use the weapon, how to clean.
That makes fucking sense. Like, show me how to work it. Give me an instruction manual.
Which is completely fine by me.
I'm cool with that.
I want to own a whole bunch of guns. I want to have a John Wick room myself.
The problem is New York is super strict on guns, right?
Yeah, you could get them, but you can't walk around with them. Right.
Conceal and carry is a little different.
Conceal and carry is illegal even here. You can't even carry on your period. If you transporting a gun, let's say you go into a gun range, has to be unloaded, in a box locked, and the gun has to have a gun lock on it.
Wow.
As well.
See, over here they don't even have that shit. Over here you just put it in the back and that's it.
Yeah. And if I forgot homeboy's name, Colin Noir is the black dude. Forgot his name. Or Colleen. He was on Joe Rogan. He's a NRA guy. He knows more about guns. I would say go there and check out his stuff. Majority of the knowledge I know was from that guy. And just people just have a misconception of how purchasing guns. And also too, anybody could be sane, man, and then you could just snap at any day. I think what does need to happen is when you have people who, let's say, there should be a national database of a psychiatrist have, all right, hey, Peter said he wanted to kill his girlfriend,
But if you say that, they automatically have to report you.
Correct.
You cannot say I want to kill somebody or kill myself
But what I'm saying is those things don't go on like
right.
It's not a national gun registry for that thing.
Right.
So like there's no like flag to flag him. Let's say if he didn't have anything prior, and then now as he wants to go buy a gun,
right,
after he just came from the shrink, there's no active database to say, hey, you know, this guy has something. Make sure you don't sell this guy a firearm or a knife or whatever in, you know, a national database for weapons. I think that should be something we should be able to invest in and make sure, because again, anybody any day, you don't even know. You know, one day somebody killed your daughter, you was a happy guy, and the next day, you know, overnight somebody killed your daughter, killed your wife, you know, killed your mom, and you just snap. Like anybody could just snap at any moment, you know.
Especially
like,
now.
We still have these urges, like these prehistoric, you know, like man cave urges of, you know, protecting and
an eye for an eye type of shit. Like, oh, you took
like
my shit, I'll be right back.
Our DNA, you know, not saying we're moving past it. And it's little by little, but it's still going to take another probably decades, thousands of years for it to completely come out of our system. Who knows, hundreds of thousands of years. But we still have that, that primal instinct of, you know, that's how, you know, mothers are instinct to protect their kids. Fathers are, you know, used to protect their kids. If that life source gets taken away from you, you don't know how a lot of people, like some people who were completely normal, a guy who worked 9 to 5, was
it's like postal, right? Like those postal workers, they're nice dudes, everything's chilling, they're delivering your mail, they're getting chased by the dog, and all of a sudden they snap and they lose their mind. And prior to that, they were paying all their bills, they were paying their taxes, they were doing everything normal. But you know, that's the thing, man. You know, you could have a situation that mentally breaks you, and then you just start going nuts. I also find it too that, bro, with all the information we got now, you could buy pieces off the net and build your own weapons, and you don't gotta wait no fucking time.
It's certain things, yep. It's certain things. But yeah, you're right.
Right? So, I mean, this is obviously a larger conversation, and I think this is the thing, what I said about, you know, a few weeks back. We need to continue to have these conversations, right? And instead of saying, don't take my guns and this and left and right, we should sit down. People should get a panel. Why do you think you want your gun? Okay, well, this is the reforms we're looking at. Hey, you know, you guys got your guns. Your grandfather didn't. Don't sweat it. And then, like I said, every time there's an issue and they say we're going to take it away, they keep on collecting more weapons. So obviously this is a multifaceted discussion and argument. My prayers go out to all the families, white, black, brown, Asian, green, Spanish,
purple, men,
everybody.
Women, trans men, trans women, trans babies, whatever the fuck.
Right. Everybody love. But we're starting now to really unravel as people, and it's really starting to get me really, really nervous. And I just don't know, you know, how this country continues to go down like this. And you know what's weird? And maybe, you know, we could look into this for the next show. You don't hear massive shootings in Europe. You don't hear massive shootings in like other countries. I mean, besides, let's say the Middle East, where it kind of gets a little crazy. But for the most part, mass shootings happen here a lot. Before that,
Europe gets bombed. They get bombed a lot. They get a lot of terrorist shit going on.
Right. But I'm saying, like, the average Joe's just not walking out the fucking cafe lighting fools up.
I think they can have guns, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
But that's the thing. So, a lot of people in these other nations, they give them everything. It's like the drug thing, right? In other countries, it's legal for drugs, so they don't have a high crime rate. They don't have motherfuckers all high and shit. They don't have all these problems, you know. Before we get into our other thing, when we were talking about some of this stuff, I wanted to drop out that apparently New York passed legalizing marijuana. What are your thoughts on that?
About time. I think it should be a federal thing across the all 50 states. The fact that it's going state by state by state, I think is idiotic. And as soon as the only issue I have with marijuana getting legalized is as soon as these laws get passed and legalized, anyone who got arrested for non-drug, non-violent drug offenses,
get them the fuck out of there,
should be released right away.
Not released right away. We should look at it, right? And if it's a non-violent offender, and he had a couple bags of bud,
had weed on him,
get him the fuck out. You're free.
Get him the fuck out.
Yes, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Chilling,
right?
Out.
Yes.
Nothing. I'm saying that he fucking shot 8 people.
Right, and had weed on him. But you know, so funny that shit doesn't go hand in hand. How many dudes you know that get high on weed? Like, I'm not trying to joke, but trying to make a little bit lighter of the situation. I bet you if those two dudes smoked weed, they probably wouldn't have shot nobody. But
probably.
I wanted to say something that I found more interesting, and I want to look at it more. Not only is going to be weed delivery legal, they're going to be opening up lounges to get high. That's insane, bro. That creates a whole new market for creating business in New York City, because it's not legal in California for lounges. Right? Yeah, I'm like,
but everybody fucking smokes everywhere. Like
I get that. I get that. But remember, to smoke indoors, you can't go to a bar and start lighting up.
True.
Right?
True. You
can't even fucking smoke tobacco in a bar. Right? But imagine if there's a bar.
You can smoke hookahs and shit inside.
Which I never understood. You can smoke a hookah, but you can't smoke a cigarette. What the fuck? Why are you hating? I smoke cigarettes, okay? Why is it okay to smoke some orange flavored tobacco, but regular Marlboro Red, you're not down with it?
Exactly.
I wonder if you could smoke a cigarette in the hookah lounges.
I'm pretty sure people have, or people sneak them in, or
no, I'm not. Forget about sneaking in.
But I feel like you get your, like, if you smoke the hookah, you get your high anyway. Like, you get your cigarettes.
I never liked that. No, you don't, bro. That shit is weird. That shit is really. It doesn't taste the same. And then by the time it comes down that whole hookah pipe, it doesn't. Like, for me, I like smoking cigars, right? On top of smoking cigarettes.
So you got to get your own hookah. Don't share.
No. But they give you a filter. They give you that too. Whatever. But you remember, if it was you and me, we're sharing one. You're not buying your own, right? So I'm saying your own within your group. They put that little cap on it, but it never gives me like the same kind of feeling. Like, I can smoke that shit all day. I smoke one cigarette. If I smoke the second one, I'm like, I'm done. I'm about to pass out. That's too much tobacco going in. But on a more serious note, I just was really excited that finally New York City kind of turned the corner, because everything is illegal there. Even Joe Rogan said when he was there, he had to hide smoking the blunt because he was afraid of getting bagged. All right, serious again. Paris locks down. Okay, they have the virus. They got vaccines. They're working on all that stuff, but they're trying to control, the version of the UK strand getting out. Are we gonna find ourselves in the same problem in a few months?
Most likely.
Right. Okay.
And it's fucking lunacy. It's lunacy. The CDC keeps coming out with things. Out of everybody who died, all right, let's start here.
Okay.
Everybody who was admitted to the hospital with COVID-19, 78% of those people who were admitted to the hospital were obese and had pre-existing medical conditions.
Okay.
This is directly straight from the CDC. So YouTube, if you pull us off, suck a dick. Okay? So let's start there. It's all facts. So if you go to CDC website, 78% of obese, diabetes, cancer, pre-existing conditions, asthma, low vitamin D were admitted to the hospital admissions. Now, another thing they're saying is that out of everybody who died, 6% of people were directly killed by COVID-19. So out of the 500,000 people that they say that have died from COVID, 6% of that, which is probably, I don't know, 1,100, 1,200, probably less than that.
Of how much? Of how much was the total?
Of the 500,000 plus deaths, 6% of that.
Nah, that's gotta be. Let's put it in tens, right? So if it's 100, 6% is 6,000. 6,000 times 5, that's 30.
If it's 100 people, it's 6 people.
If you break it down by 100,000, right? 6% of 100,000 is 6,000. Is 6,000. How is that possible?
You said 100,000?
Yeah, 100,000, because we're trying to figure.
Okay,
right. I think it's 6,000, and then you multiply that times 5. That's 30,000 people. So 30,000 people out of 500,000 is probably closer to 6%. And I think I'm doing that number. I'm not even accurate on that, because I'm doing that math based on. Well, maybe I'm right. I might be right.
So anyway, 6%. My point is,
you're saying it's not as big as a fraction as the media is pushing.
Now, what I'm saying is that, like, all right, now the other 94% of people who died when they had COVID, they was a possibility they would have died if they would have got the flu, or they would have died if they would have had the common cold, because those immune systems are compromised no matter what virus they get.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I got you. So I was speaking to Dr. Sheila Young, right? And this is the problem. First of all, a lot of those deaths are happening in the hood amongst black and brown people. Okay.
Well, deficient in vitamin D and are obese.
Okay. The next lens to look at is in those communities, the healthcare workers are overwhelmed. It's not like you catch COVID and you're in Beverly Hills and they have state-of-the-art treatment facilities that can take care of you. It just seems like what I'm starting to realize is that, again, back to what we were saying earlier, the way the people in charge have been regarding life, they're picking who's more important. And right now, I don't even trust anything the fucking CDC says, because they're a bunch of fucking liars. So whether it's 6%, whatever percent it is, I want to dive in further into this because, again, you got places that have food deserts in the hood. We talked about it. So what are you eating? McDonald's, Burger King, Kentucky Fried Chicken,
chicken spot, corner stores.
So not only let's say you might have preconditioning conditions. I would like to switch it and say not vitamin D deficient, because again, Dr. Sheila Young straightened me out a little bit. It's weak immune systems, okay? Because vitamin D, vitamin D does, it helps you, it helps your it helps build up your immune system. That's what vitamin D.
Because it's a hormone. That's why. So now because the reason why I'm saying that is because even the people who are admitted to hospitals with COVID, it was like 70 something percent, like 72%. I can't remember the number. We're deficient in vitamin D. And on a national level across America, about 60+% of people are deficient in vitamin D at all times across the board. Now, people who have darker skin, who are black or Hispanic, the reason why they are always low in vitamin D is because natural sunlight. If you're dark skin, you have natural sunlight, your skin is repelling vitamin D. Hence why you need to get vitamin D replacement, because your darker skin is protecting you.
I get all the multivitamin shit. My more concern is that, okay, France seems to be a little bit more on the progressive front. They get into the lockdown. They had 35,000 new cases. Now, granted, it wasn't deaths, okay? But at the same token, obviously this thing is spreading and it's mutating. Now we have different strands of it. They've had all of their gyms, all the indoor stuff, everything locked down. Now coming to us, we're going to fucking spring break. People are traveling again. People are going to work. They're opening up restaurants. This is a recipe for disaster. And people don't even wear masks. You know, I'm not trying to take 100 shot at you, but
fuck that shit. All that, everything off, garbage, burn, everything. It's just lunacy. We cannot go crazy off a 99% survival rate virus. We cannot. It's fucking crazy. You have a higher chance of dying in a car than you do from COVID.
We gotta look at these numbers. We gotta look at these
all the fucking time.
But where
6-7 times a day.
Is this number from the CDC? Because again, I don't trust those fools.
Bro, no, but that's a statistic fact. If you're higher likely to die in a car accident than you are from COVID.
I mean, but people die in a car a lot, so that's kind of a hard.
But what I'm saying is that if
you said a plane crash, that would make more sense.
In 10 minutes, I bet you'll get in a car. You're gonna get a car 5 times today.
No.
8 times
I don't
today.
leave my house.
I'm not saying you.
Oh, you're talking about general.
If I'm a driver,
right?
I get in a car. Guess what? I put my kids in my car and I go drive and I take them somewhere to
especially
eat,
in
or
NYC.
I take them to go see somebody, and everything's fucking a-okay, dandy okay. When it's flu season, kids don't wear masks.
I get that part.
And the flu kills kids more than COVID does.
But the thing is that I'm down with what you're saying. Like, for example, let's say we're gonna look at this thing as a herd immunity thing, right? And it might be practical to exercise that, right?
No, well, my thing is if you are high risk, if you have asthma, right? You normally don't go where there's a place where there's a lot of smoke where it can trigger your asthma. Guess what you do? You make sure you don't do crazy exercise. You don't exert or burn out your lungs, because you know why? You can have a fucking asthma attack. You stay conscious of that. If you have diabetes, guess what? You're not going to fucking eat 7 fucking donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. Why? Because you could go into shock. You're mindful of things that you're high risk for. So if you're high risk for this virus, which is 65 and up, is high risk, or anybody with pre-existing conditions, you should get the vaccine first if it is safe and you choose to take the vaccine.
But the problem with the vaccine is, again, talking to my friend Dr. Sheila Young, she's saying that the vaccine, you can still get infected with another one.
Exactly,
right?
Just like a flu vaccine, just like any other vaccine.
But the problem is that I'm saying what my argument is this, right? Like, a lot of black and brown people are going to die because of this. Not so much because it has 100% or a 90% survival rate, because we don't have 99. we don't have the infrastructure to handle this shit. And potentially medical professionals being either overwhelmed or not having supplies or not having ICU beds. People didn't die. Let's say the causality wasn't because people were dying because of COVID. People are dying because of COVID because they don't know how to fucking handle it, or they're overwhelmed.
They do. That's false.
I'm talking about in the hood. In the hood, they're overwhelmed, bro. In Compton.
But that's just
for example,
that's just poor healthcare system. Like
there's no healthcare for anybody, bro. My kid got sick, and they told them to wait outside. They got I'm just saying that the poor people are not getting the same care that the rich people are, and that's the problem with COVID. It's not so much that COVID kills; it's that if you don't have healthcare and you're not taking care of, bro, they turn people away. My kid went to the.
That's why the health professionals and people like us, or anybody who has any type of platform, LeBron James, anybody who has a big mass platform, you say like Joe Rogan does every fucking time: take vitamin D, take zinc, take quercetin, everything you could buy on Amazon. There's no shortage of it right now. There's none. You could take that stuff right now. You can walk 20 minutes a day, doing some fucking exercise.
But that's not the messaging that they're sending. There's no messaging about being healthy, about getting exercise, about being out. I mean, it's simple shit. Almost like you were saying about diabetes. If you have diabetes, you're not going to be fucking with jelly donuts. But what my argument is, we're saying the same thing. I'm not saying that people are dying from COVID. I'm saying that people are being misdiagnosed, mishandled, malpractice due to again, the levee's already broken. Let's say we caught up a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. If we have another massive breakout, it's only going to hurt the poor communities, right?
That's what everything.
I get that. I understand that. But that can't. It's almost like they're choosing on who they want to take care of at that point. Because we should be able.
I can guarantee you,
testing is still a problem, right? Vaccines access is still a problem. You got people jumping lines in other neighborhoods and other places because they got apparently the codes. That's the new cheat code, literally. Now, if they know the code that you're supposed to put on to get on the line, you sneak through. I mean, this is a slippery slope in the sense of, like I said, it's not people dying of COVID. It's how in some of these poor communities COVID's being handled. And now New York is different, right? What about Alabama? What about motherfucking, let me think of another tough, Kentucky, right? Like places that have like hardcore hoods, Baltimore, right?
So the issue they should do with those, anything, right, is stop creating mass hysteria. Stop saying after you take the vaccine, you got to still wear 2 masks anyway.
But that's true though. You have to. No, because you can still catch the different version of it.
So why am I taking the vaccine and I still have to wear double
Well, that
mask?
was the thing again that Dr. Sheila Young was saying. She's saying that the narrative is fucked up. They're lying to you.
Yeah,
potentially, first of all, there's zero transparency. That's why I don't fuck with the CDC, the WHO, or Anthony Fauci.
All of them.
But I gotta say, at least Anthony Fauci is saying that
Fauci can suck a dick. He's a fucking liar.
Right. 100% he is.
He's a fucking piece of shit liar. I don't believe nothing he says.
At least he's saying that this is gonna get worse before it gets better. Another thing that she brought up
I don't believe him.
Another thing that she brought up. Listen, when the new rhetoric, like we were talking about earlier, right? Black Lives Matter. White lives don't matter, all lives matter, all this shit. The new buzzword that's being passed around is getting back to normal. There is never going to be normal again.
There is. You know what you do?
No.
Open everything and you just let everything run its course. And that's it. I'm
telling you, bro. We're going to get sick again. People are being misinformed.
The reason we are where we are right now is because people are getting taken advantage of, and it showed how much rights that we will give up if we're fucking scared, and that's a scary thing to me.
But again, it's multifaceted. It's multifaceted.
No, it's not. If there's a virus that's 99% 998 survival rate, what is the confusion?
The confusion was, I don't even know. I want to get more into this because I don't even know how this virus keeps fucking mutating, right? But let's say the other
virus mutates,
right? Let's say in some of these other northern European countries like the Sweden and all that stuff, they locked down for 4 or 5 months. They gave everybody $3,000 a month. They squashed it. But in the USA, we didn't stay home. It wasn't so much about like losing our rights or anything like that. Motherfuckers went back outside.
76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's why. That's one of the
and that's another problem too. That's another problem. Again, poor people.
No, not even 76% of Americans.
And just so you know, most of the people are poor, bro. Everybody lives.
If you make $25,000, you are part of the 1%.
That number is skewed like a mother.
No, it's not.
How 25,000? You mean 250,000, not 25,000.
$25,000.
Bro, that's a job at McDonald's. No way.
Look it up. Look it up. I swear to God. Look it up.
That's impossible.
Most people get less money than that around the world.
So, we're not talking about the world. I'm talking. Yes, that makes sense in the world. I'm talking about. I shouldn't say that. We're not screwing that. We're talking about USA. We're talking about the USA.
So
if you make 25%, if you make 25,000 in the USA, you are below the poverty line.
No.
Poverty line, I think, is 16,000.
Okay, and if you're at 25, you're above.
But you're not. Maybe in the Bronx or maybe in New York.
But what I'm saying is, like, for depending on where, obviously, depending on where you live, where shit is priced at. It depends on how you move your money, but most people go out and they buy liquor and they buy sneakers and they buy this and buy most.
Where you think all that $1,400 went, bro?
Most people, like, if you live super frugal, why do you think immigrants come here
and they blow the fuck up
and work for $100 a week?
Yep,
they save all their bread.
Yep,
they live with 19 people in one room.
Yep,
like. People are spoiled. That's the issue.
Americans are very spoiled. Yes.
And they're going to complain about anything because everybody wants a fucking mansion and nobody wants to work. And when I have 3 cars and be able to travel whenever the fuck they want, and they complain when they make 50 grand a year, but live a lifestyle of a 90 grand. You can't have both.
And you got a fucking car note and a motherfucking house note. And you fucking leasing your shit.
So if you're getting a little bit of chicken, don't go get a Benz and don't live in a house. Buy a house that's like 7 times your income, and now you're living literally paycheck to paycheck because you put yourself in these bad lifestyle choices. Now, going back to COVID, the only issue I have with COVID is that everybody's supposedly smart, and you have all these smart fucking people, and you have all these facts and data and proving how to deal with the virus where we currently are right now. Because I get it. In the beginning, we had no data. We didn't know how it was attacking people. I say March, April, May. I get it. We got to be a little cautious, wear a mask, whatever the case may be. But the jury's out. And we can't keep living like this because it's more people have committed suicide, been killed by murder, abused mentally, verbally, everything more than COVID has killed. Everybody's worried about this disease and this virus, and we don't give a shit about everything else. We don't care about the financial ramifications are going to be so bad whenever they decide to open everything back up. Pre-foreclosures, businesses have already been shut down during the pandemic. All this shit is worse than getting COVID. I'd rather get COVID 10 times in a day than to have my business shut down and not be able to provide for my family financially than to worry about a virus that's 99% survival rate. And the hypocrisy, taking us to the next thing, to hypocrisy.
Go ahead. We'll walk it out.
Which I was scared.
We'll leave some meat on the bone for next week.
which I was scared about, which is looking like it's already going to happen. And I want to talk about this.
Please, go ahead. We'll jump it. The
NBA, the Miami Heat, are going to create a section of people who are vaccinated and have them all around each other.
That's fucked up that the NBA leaded the charge on that, man.
I think it's fucked up that all the sports are leading this way.
That's what I'm saying.
All of them. NBA, MLB, WNBA, hockey, any of them. It starts with them, the precedent. Stop wearing the mask yourself. It makes no sense. Everybody gets tested every single day, probably twice a day.
You're talking about the players.
The players and the coaches, everybody, the whole staff, the referees, the announcers, anybody who's around the court gets tested. Now, after that, then you have them sit 6 feet away from each other on the court while they're playing against each other, running into each other, giving each other fucking high fives, fouling each other. Or in football, when you're the guards, if right in front of each other, breathing in each other's face. And then you go to the sidelines and you just put a mask on. It sends the wrong image to the American people. It sets a wrong precedent. And now you're telling these people who going to go, and you have to show proof, which I was scared about, You get a vaccine card. Now, when you go to the stadium or any venue that's going to allow this, it show that you got vaccinated, a vaccine card, and you get to go in. Because eventually that's what's going to happen. It's like when you go like we went to go eat yesterday at Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to put a mask on, walk 2 feet to the table, take your mask off. What precedent is that? It makes 0 sense. Zero. And people are just accepting it. I already told my girl I need to get a fly ass crib, and I'm not going nowhere. I don't want to deal with people's bullshit. Like, it's annoying.
I know that you're extremely passionate about this topic. Like I said, I'm still like somewhere in the middle of it, only because, like I said, there's a lot of different things. I get the numbers, but I just don't think that the healthcare is available for all the people that need it. This is a discussion that's going to keep on. I mean, I think we're not out of the woods on this thing.
But the healthcare isn't there now. Period. For diabetes, for obesity,
right.
for cancer, for any of that shit. Right. People have been dying because they couldn't get on a fucking donors list.
Right.
And that isn't talked about.
No, 100%.
Shout out to my man Denzel with John Q. Like,
yes.
Look at the movie. That was
speaking
based
of
on
gun control. Yeah. Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So like and the healthcare system, regardless of the fact that's always
terrible.
Been shit.
Yes, and that's I think what COVID. I think that's what COVID definitely exposed. Right. That this system is prehistoric and things need to change.
I think what it really exposed was how unhealthy people are.
Yes, that too. And it's another thing, because we were talking about it the other day on how now like big is beautiful, and I told you I accept all walks of life on the feminine thing, but should we look at that closer, right? Because obesity,
it's never been a healthy thing.
Obesity can't be good for you. It can't be good for you. And between the food deserts and all of the commercials and all the money that goes into selling you fast food and all this other stuff, and like you said, no one's worried about, like, no one's coming out and saying, hey, we should do exercise, and all this stuff. Hey, let's give out free Zoom classes of exercising to everybody.
I take this every day. I take vitamin D, 5,000 BUs, and then I take quercetin every day. Every day.
You get the nice boxes. But I'm just saying, the message has to change. The problem is there's just too much money, and people are just not worried. They're worried about profits, not lives. They could give two fucks. They want to turn the engine back on.
Everybody wants to go get a $5 chicken spot sandwich and French fries, as opposed to going and getting a $5, 1,000 tablets of vitamin D.
Or go shopping. Go shopping. Bro, $20. Let's say if you get, McDonald's now has kind of come up. If you get a double quarter pounder with cheese, it's like $12. Let's say you could add another $8 to that, and you could probably buy like organic chicken, some rice, and at least lettuce and tomatoes, and that can hold you down for the week.
I don't think people understand that you could not eat for 30 days. I don't think people understand that. You can survive. Your body can survive.
All it needs is water.
Days. You just need, you need water. You can't live without water for 3 days.
Right.
You need water. But you cannot eat for 30 days. Like the average is 30 days without food. So like when people are like, oh my God, I'm starving, I gotta eat. Like, oh.
But that was back to what you were saying about the Americans. We're just greedy consumers, right? And we got a beast. I mean, I thought it was funny that Bloomberg like put the kibosh on the supersizing sodas. But
yeah, that was crazy.
But what I'm saying is that might be a trend that we need to start looking at. Like, bro, you don't need a 2-liter soda. Nah.
You don't, but that's a problem. The only reason why the problem is if that fuck face wants to go and drink a 92-ounce thing of soda.
Slurpee.
You can go do it. It's America. Freedom of choice.
I get that.
Because my mic is in and out.
Uh-oh.
Don't tell me that.
No. You good? I can hear you. I don't know what they're talking about. I can hear you. Who's telling you that?
Somebody in the chat. How do I sound now, Antonio?
Yeah. Tell me.
Mic. You said my mic is in and out.
Right,
hope it's better now.
I think we're good. Let's see.
I hope. How we sound now, Antonio? Why does my shit keep resetting? What the fuck? Don't tell me the whole audio. You have.
I got the audio. I'm recording. We're good. We're good on my side. We'll get the audio together and we'll slap it together.
Fuck? Why is this shit? Hold on.
Yeah, do your thing.
Because now it's resetting.
It's okay. Check it out. We'll take a quick intermission here. Another technical difficulty during a live shoot. This is what sometimes happens, guys, when you do it live. But we're
sure.
We're here.
Hopefully. Why the fuck is it resetting? No, it's resetting again.
Just double check it. I got you. You're coming into my feed. I'm recording you.
When I speak, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
See, look, right now, my shit is resetting every single time.
Why don't you switch it and put it back to your headset? And then just take the L. Just take the L so we don't have to waste time.
All right, hold on.
Yeah. There you go. Just.
But that's.
Is it? How does that? Fucking Elgato, the Elgato 3. What's happening?
Yeah.
I wanted to do some product placement. Right now, Elgato 3 is
it's looking shaky right now.
Fucking $200 mic is fucking.
Went right back down again.
Yeah. Just switch. Just switch. Don't even fuck with it. Don't even mess with it.
You got my audio.
I got you. Right yes. I got it the whole time. That's why we do back. Listen, you know my kids, while you work on that shit right there, you know my kids, they asked me, they said, is a backup plan better than a plan? All right, check it out.
Let me fix this.
Yeah, do your thing. A backup plan is not better, but you should always have one. And when you're doing live streaming, you gotta do shit on the fly. Here you go. Come on, I know you know, bro. Get into OBS, Streamlabs. That's why you're the producer. You got it better than Jamie. You're doing it on the fly, and you talking, and you getting angry, and you got the Fly Avengers shirt on. Everything's good.
All right, let me see something.
Yeah.
Now is it coming through?
Nah. What's my boy's name here? Is it Nightlight? Nightlight.
Yeah, it's from
Nightlight.
Antonio.
Yeah. Nightlight. It's good, bro. You got to be here for the kids to help us out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why is this shit like? It was not doing this before. Hold on.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Elgato 3 microphones. I don't know. We got to check them out.
You guys were doing so good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the shit went to shit.
Yeah. Is your headset an Elgato too, or is that another company? My man.
We're moving and grooving, and this shit is acted up.
I know.
All right, so at least you get the audio.
I got you.
So
we'll glue it together. Yeah, we'll glue it together.
I think we're good.
You sure?
I think we're good.
Let us know, Nightlight. That's a fun.
See, now I can't hear you.
Really?
Hold up.
That's terrible.
I can't hear you.
I got you. I'm live still, so I'm gonna
hold on.
Yeah, do your thing. I'm gonna keep talking. That way we can slap it together and figure this whole thing out. But thank God we got the whole day to do this shit.
There we go. I hear you.
Got it. Here we go. We're back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking Elgato over here. What's your headset? What's the company that makes your headset? Elgato too?
Astros. The bad boys. The bad boy Astros. All right. So my rant, majority of people didn't hear me. It's going to suck balls, but it's okay. We'll do it on a remaster.
Nah, yeah. We're going to be, don't worry about it. Get it live and dialed up. He said it's
working now. We're going to switch gears here talking about doing big dick moves.
Hey, for a quick
John
second,
Snyder.
Real sick, before you go in, is there any way to bring your levels down just a smidget? Because now you went from like hearing you to yelling.
All right. What about now?
Yeah, that's a little bit better. Go ahead. Give me a test.
Better? Testing. One,
yeah. Are you back on the Elgato?
No, I'm here. I'm on the mic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. It's working.
Sound better now?
Yeah, it's good. How about you?
Okay.
Nightlight, we good? My man Antonio.
Antonio said we're good. Antonio, you're never going to interrupt, boy. You always help out.
Yeah, come on, bro. We got
all
this. Right. Fans. Okay, so tell me about Snyder.
Big dick moves. John Snyder.
Dan Snyder.
I'm sorry. Dan Snyder. The Washington football team.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Goes and buys out everybody else and says, fuck you.
So what I want to know is, I didn't even dig into this. I just thought it was a thing because fucking Apple News is jerks. They don't let me get into everything.
Yeah.
Why did he buy them out? They were giving him grief?
I don't know. Maybe he just is like, was enough's enough. He don't want to hear nobody's shit. He don't want to have to answer to anybody. He doesn't want to.
I don't want to deal with it either. If I was him, I feel him.
I don't have to worry about so many cooks in the kitchen. And I think that's probably what. I didn't read mostly into it either. I just saw some of the spotlights or some of the sports talk shows touch on this lightly. I just think he's probably a billionaire who just doesn't want to deal with shit and is going to keep it pushing.
Well, hopefully they come up with a better name than the Washington football team because that shit is terrible, bro. Like it shows like no creativity, no vision, no nothing. So I just don't know, man.
All right. So lead us into the next one.
Yeah, I guess that was it for Snyder. He should have went into news or no news because I think that wasn't enough. We obviously didn't do our homework heavy on that, ladies and gentlemen. So our favorite segment, or one of my favorite segments, we're gonna come into our news or no news segment where we each take a topic, kind of ask each other whether we believe it's newsworthy or not. The first one out, or right out the gate. So news or no news. We'll start with this. News or no news, are you interested in seeing Tyson fight Holyfield? So are you interested in seeing two senior citizens go at it? Right? Why was this even... What's wrong with people? We're like so nostalgic.
It's a money grab. That's all it is. Everything's about money. Just see what these guys could do. It's like the Roy Jones shit with Tyson. That shit was whack. I didn't expect anything of it. That you could tell. I think Tyson still had the animal in him, so fucking rock Roy Jones. But
he looked like way more the antagonizer in that fight.
And I just think he just knew like they had some general agreement. Yo, let's not hit each other in the head. We don't know what could happen.
So for me, it's news only because Tyson keeps saying that it's going to happen. And Holyfield's camp said that the deal's falling apart.
Because I'm pretty sure if Holyfield probably wants majority of the pie. I don't know.
But why? No offense. I mean, I love you, Holyfield, and you're like one of the best defensive boxers of all time. But Mike Tyson still sells. Like same thing with Roy Jones Jr.
Remember PTSD. You never know. Homeboy might buy his other ear off.
They did a joke. I forget what movie I was watching. I think it was called Grudge Match with Sylvester Stallone and Robert De Niro, and it had. That's
basically it.
Yeah, they said that he was gonna, don't bite him, and he said he was sorry. He said he was sorry. All right, go.
News or no news? Virginia becomes the first southern U.S. state to abolish the death penalty.
I say it's news. You tie that in with New York doing the marijuana legal thing. It just looks like people are at least trying to be more progressive. What do you think? You think it's news or no news?
I think it's news just because they should never abolish it. It should be always implemented to anybody who does fuckboy shit, like what happened in the shootings, anybody who rapes kids, anybody who rapes women, any psychopath who finds it a sadistic thing for, either eating people, killing people, anything of sort of those lines where those people just need to be erased off the planet instead of putting them into the justice system.
So no rehab,
spending money on them.
no rehab.
What I'm saying is for the people who.
So the extreme part. I mean that makes sense.
Extreme.
Okay.
For the guys who say I like to fuck kids all the time and I'll never stop.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Right. Got it. So
those guys, people who I'll rape women. They've raped 50 women and now they're caught. And they will continue to do it if they were allowed to keep doing it. Instead of putting these guys in jail, paying 30 to 50 grand a year for them, they have basically free health care in the system. They can have cancer, they can have anything. They will have they have better health care than a poor person.
Okay, that's a first statement. That's a first statement.
So instead of abolishing it, you get rid of those people.
Okay. So they might be trending because if they started, so some other people might start. Okay, so the Spring Breakers go bananas in Miami South Beach. Did you see some of the videos, bro? Did you see the one of the girls, like multiple girls whipping each other's asses?
In the middle of the street.
Yo, that shit looked like a wrestling match.
But that's the product of people being locked up for a long period of time. Like, I already feel like, first of all, I think it's news just because it just shows you a precursor to what the summer is going to be like.
Right. It's going to be bananas. Instant delivery, all that shit. I'm with you, cousin.
Yep.
Say so I wanted to ask you another thing. News or no news? Are we gonna get spikes in COVID due to people wanting a vacation heavy?
Possibly.
Why did spring break get canceled?
It's Florida. Florida didn't close, so you can't.
Okay, done. You can't. Got it. Okay, I got it. All right, go ahead. Next one. Do you know who this dude is, by the way?
We did some Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt reporting heartbroken by Angelina Jolie abuse allegations. So fill me in a little bit.
So again, I fucked up because I didn't do all my research on that. But I'm assuming that, like, prior to me following, because I kind of keep a small eye on the celebrities, I think she had claimed that he was kind of heavy-handed, maybe with the kids. I know that they broke up, saying that he wasn't like a good husband and a good dad. But this is my thing. He's a pot smoker. I don't really find aggressive people that smoke pot.
Here's my thing, and I've learned this. I've been seeing this more recently, and I've seen it from this guy. I forgot the guy's name. I wish I could give him credit. Women get mad at men for being basically the people who spank their kids. Like, if you came from that elk, you love your husband or you love your significant other for the person who they are. Now, they were raised that way. Now, if they're raising your children that way, why would you stop them?
Not only that, shouldn't you have vetted this person before you even married them and asked them those kind of questions? You know what I mean? I feel like that's something that we're not looking at either in a large regard, because we have all of these women are complaining about their spouses, and I'm like, man, you should have interviewed this dude better.
But my thing is, I'm pretty sure he told you, hey, my pops.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So
anytime I was slick, I used to get hit in the mouth. Like,
right,
that's all prerequisite when you talking to somebody. You know, like
especially for us Latinos, you get judo chopped like nobody's business.
With a chancleta. Moving forward, we got Silicon Valley star Thomas Middleditch accused of sexual misconduct at LA club in 2019.
Did you know who this dude is?
The main character?
Huh?
The main character with the bug eyes? Or is it the fat guy?
No, it's the bug eye kid. Yeah. The dude that was in Godzilla. He was in a couple other movies. I drawn a blank on some of his other flicks. I should have put him better. This is practice on the fly. So, but by the way, this club, I was reading a little bit about it. Apparently it was kind of like an S&M club.
Okay, so then it's part of the thing,
right? And I'm not saying that it's okay. The other thing too is that the girl like retweeted or Instagram post. I don't even know how you say an Instagram post, but she Instagram posted an apology that he sent to her. Now I get it that if he apologized, he might be guilty, but he apologized.
And I don't know what if...
So, like, if you fuck up and I say that I'm genuinely sorry, I can't say sorry anymore?
True.
And I'm just using that post as an isolated incident. I'm not saying that it probably got worse.
And then, two, what I'm saying is that she could... Let's say they were doing an S&M act and he went too far after she said her safe word.
Right.
Kind of thing. And then she's upset because he went too far after she said pineapple.
It's the same. No. It's the same thing with Armie Hammer. Right? Like Armie Hammer, apparently, like the wife, they were in agreement, and I don't know. This is getting crazy. I'll tell you like this: if I'm a dude and I got money, I ain't talking to no women. Zero.
And
zero.
You know, we'll eventually get to the Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson next week. But from now on, if you're
by the way, did I tell you that I retweeted that he got? Yeah, for sure. Did I tell you that I retweeted some shit that he got released? I almost put that shit in the notes. We're going to get better at this. My show note taking is going to get better. But yeah, 14 women now.
It's 22 in total.
But I think, 15 came forward.
Yeah. And I still think it's bullshit, but that's just me.
That's a lot of girls, though.
Well, a lot of the claims are them being uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable is not a fucking thing.
Okay, so let's rewind the tape real quick. Brad Pitt, heartbroken about Angelina's abuse. News or no news?
No news.
I would say it's news, because anything right now that is dealing with women is front page paper. Going back to the Silicon Valley guy, news or no news that he was aggressive in the club, and it kind of maybe a sex club.
If it's a sex club, I would say no news. I just maybe again we already passed Me Too movement 2015. If women are still scared to come forward and then come forward 3 or 4 years later, I don't want to hear that shit anymore. I'm sorry. There's enough support from both men and women. They will support you if you come out right away. If a guy slapped your ass right away, if you got any sexual assault within yesterday, if it happens, do it now. Don't do it 3 years from now where you think it's going to be a gain to you. There's enough support systems out there. Okay, so I'm gonna say news again because it's girl stuff. Okay, and right now it's hot. By the way, real quick before I say anything, before I enter the next one, you know, one of the girls in the Watson thing, asked him for $30,000 and she would have stood silent. So facts. That's the one case he has against. Is that one?
Right. I know. Okay, so Vegas had Gonzaga this weekend. Did you watch March Madness?
I watched some of it.
Okay. News or no news? Vegas got the 32-point favored right.
No news.
No news?
That happens. I've seen Kentucky cover a 42-point spread.
What do you think about Gonzaga real quick? News or no news that they're going to win the whole thing?
They look good. They should. But, that's the one thing that's what makes March Madness.
Right. Cinderellas and stuff.
Yep.
Got it. Go.
Okay, dude.
Last one.
Do you care that it is a R-rated Mrs. Doubtfire?
First of all, it's totally news because that movie was fire. I just watched it the other day on HBO Max. If there's first of all, the story came out and said there was an NC-17 version, and then it got dumbed down to R-rated. I totally want to see that. First of all, bring back. Look, we're not making no fucking movies. Release the Snyder Cut. Release Doubtfire NC-17.
Don't release Snyder Cut.
No, not Snyder. the Ayers.
Okay.
Ayers. Suicide Squad. Like, if we have shit on the shelf that was already made and it's probably maybe could be better, I would say release all director's cuts that we're sitting on. So yes, it's news to me. Is it news to you?
I think so. Just because he was such a great guy, it sucked that somebody who that happy felt so lonely. So anybody who's struggling with that, I hope you reach out to any family members or a friend, or you go seek some type of help. Loneliness is a tough thing. And even when you look happy, you can still be lonely.
I know we sound crazy and we get excited and we yell at each other, but if you've been touched by anybody, speak up. If you're dealing with depression, call a friend and tell them what's up. Come through. Like, we need to start coming together as people and start bringing back community and stop all this bullshit about who's on what aisle of the fucking lane. All right, take us into our next favorite segment.
Okay, we are going to Around the Leagues.
Baby,
right,
let's
we're
go.
Include NFL, MLB, NBA.
Nice.
All right?
Yeah.
All right. We got Freddie Tatis, man. Him signing early is looking like a smart thing.
Yep. And to me, that's why I would have never signed him.
And what are your thoughts on his injury?
So I dug into this really hard. Apparently, the 22-year-old superstar had a scare, but it was a weird injury because it was a non-throwing arm injury. Not only that, he got injured as he made a play. So I think he might have scooped up the ball because they had to shift to the right side of the field, scooped it up, threw it, and maybe he threw his glove down too quickly. Might have fucked with him. This is his like second injury-ish in like 3 years. I would say I'd be a little worried, only because I don't know if sometimes he's thinking all the time. You're the 100 million man guy right now. Like, I get hustle, but don't injure yourself, bro. I mean, because right now the whole entire Padres organization bet on you. What do you think?
It turned out that, that's why like these hindsight 2020s, like Monday morning quarterback, it looks good. Like, now him signing that deal looks good. Like him signing that massive deal. If it's anything that's super duper serious and he doesn't come back, well, time will tell if he falls off a cliff. But that 360 million is set in stone. And I hope he's a good man. I hope, he's excited for baseball. But like, that's another thing. Like, doing a stupid shift. Like, take that shit out of baseball. Let fucking hits come in. Let runs come in. Like,
I hate the shift.
The shift is so stupid.
They need to take that shit away immediately. Either you have the hindsight to know.
What sucks too is you don't force batters to hit the opposite way too. Like okay, the shift is beneficial obviously to the people on the field, but the batter, instead of trying to hit home runs every time, fucking hit the opposite way. So there's no shift on you. So there's no fucking read whether you're gonna hit the ball. Staying on Tatis for a quick second.
It makes baseball boring. Baseball's really got to stop making it more boring.
Some stupid
like
thing.
Now everything fucking is a pop-up. So it's either a pop-up or a home run. Because that's it. Out. Yeah, like, thank you. You guys are fucking great. They're fucking terrible morons. Go ahead.
So if people don't know what NFTs are basically...
Yeah, explain this shit to me, because I've been trying to look this up and I've been trying to find where to buy an NFT or how to use an NFT, because your boy's trying to be progressive as a 40-year-old, 4.0, out here in the building. I don't even know what this shit is.
So NFT is basically, let's say, it's called a non-fungible token. So it's basically kind of like Bitcoin.
Got that part.
So
it's still confusing.
You can create, because eventually in the future, so it's like basically, let's say, you made the Mona Lisa, right?
Okay.
You made the Mona Lisa. You go and you sell it.
Okay.
Now, when you go to sell it, there's a list. Now, whoever you sold it to, let's say you sold it to me, you created it. I bought it.
Okay.
I sold it to Emmanuel.
Done.
There's a whole ledger of transactions.
So that's all it is.
So now it can't be. What's dope is that, let's say, how the Mona Lisa could be forged.
Sure.
And they can sell fake ones.
Right.
You can't do that.
So it's basically protecting artists to dumb it down.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you can go and create. So let's say.
So how did Jack Dorsey sell his first tweet? That's not art.
it could be not to us, or what we consider art. It could be considered art to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And then what it's also lining up for, where what they're doing is like eventually you're gonna have these people who create these worlds. So 10 years, 15 years, you can go and take this world or this art, and then you can see in virtual reality in front of you, and you own that art, as opposed to somebody else being able to take it, or you can license that art out.
It sounds interesting, but I'm still confused. I know Patrick Mahomes is on it. I know Ja Rule just sold
on it.
Yeah, everybody's moving on.
It's just it protects the artist. It protects the artist.
Right. So can a podcast be an NFC or NFT? No.
Do I have one?
Do you? I don't know. Does you?
No. I don't have one.
No, I'm saying, can a podcast, like an episode, can you do?
Yeah,
NFT
we can go and take our logo and put it as an NFT.
Gotcha.
So nobody can then go take the logo and do whatever they want with it.
Got it.
It's kind of like trademarking your work.
There you go. Thank you. That makes way more sense.
So Tatis is going to work with a sports memorabilia company and do NFTs. So he's one of the first
baseball players
or athletes to do this.
He can't be one of the first athletes.
Home run. So imagine they did Joey Bats when he flipped the bat, and then they made some art, so fire ass art shit. Then you can own that, and then you'll be the only person to own that art.
Okay.
Instead of being replicated 100,000 times.
So basically, once you make that, no one else can. It's almost even like copyright. It's not even trademark.
Yeah, you're saving it. And if you want to buy it from me, and it will always be a ledger. So like, if it goes down in value, you'll see how it goes down. Or if it goes up in value, see how it goes up. There's a couple of guys there's people making millions of dollars.
I know. I don't understand. I want to find the cheat code because I would like just $1 million. That's all I would like.
All right, take us to the next one.
All right, so this is in your realm. First of all, I want to ask you, how dope was balling? LaMelo.
He was balling out.
Better than his brother? More talented.
His rookie year, yes. And you could even say right now too.
Okay. And he was trying to go for rookie of the year this year, right? This is his first season, right? LaMelo Ball's first season. So his wrist, I don't know, was it fractured? Was it broken? Was it sprained? Okay, so they're saying reevaluation in about, I think it was 4 weeks. He's going to get reevaluated. Did this hurt his rookie season?
Yes, because the voters are retarded and dumb and stupid. Because it doesn't matter how many games you play. How great are you in those games? He is the rookie of the year. Just like Zion was rookie of the year last year, and he only played like 20 games, he was better than Ja Morant. And I don't care that Ja Morant played 65 games or 70 games or even all 80 games. He was not better than Zion Williamson. And he got plagued by injury. Like Joel Embiid, he didn't win Rookie of the Year. Malcolm Brogdon did, just because he missed like 30 games. But Joel Embiid was the best player, best rookie of that year. So to me, LaMelo Ball is Rookie of the Year. It's not even close. People were trying to make a case for Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards was not bowling out to the after the All-Star break, and that was only 5 games out of the season.
So how do they? Let me pull this back a little bit more. How do they rank or like you basically have to play the whole season to be eligible?
Or a good amount of games, like 90% of your games.
Okay, so 90%.
To be eligible. Okay. So like right now, LeBron is out of the MVP. He's gonna be out because he's gonna miss a month.
Right.
Joel Embiid is out. He's gonna miss a month. KD is out. He's already missed a month. So like all these
who's
top
the front runner now? Harden.
They're done.
Done. Okay, Harden. Perfect.
Harden is for right now. He should be the MVP.
Right.
To me. Yeah.
Do you think he should have been the MVP even if LBJ wasn't injured?
Yes.
Okay,
I think
perfect.
He still should have been MVP.
All right, so now let's take us into, which is kind of cool because I think last show you talked about on how they were going to try to do some fuckboy shit to him because LeBron James was probably going to get the MVP again, but at least now it's going to go to the most deserving person. It sucks that the sports writers really screw a lot of this stuff up, even that they get command on who gets into the Hall of Fame. Shout out to Pete Rose. All right, so you teased it real quick. You almost took the story. LeBron James injured. And by your standards, let's say a month. They said out indefinitely. Are the Lakers done? They got no Davis, no LeBron.
I think seeing the injury, I didn't think it was that bad. Like, I didn't think as bad as he made it seem.
Yeah, he was crying and stuff.
Like, homeboy didn't, like, his ankle turned in a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't to the max that
you
the dramatics. But I can't be in somebody's shoes and know.
It was not a Dak Prescott injury.
or Kobe tearing his Achilles injury kind of thing.
Right.
I think it did a tweak probably because these guys have their ankles taped. It did it hurt probably maybe. I can't decide that. But I think he's gonna take time. I think as long as he's there in the playoff, he's gonna. If they lose, let's say they go on like a 1-10 or 1-15, you'll see him back. You're gonna hear reports rumbling that LeBron's coming back.
So I think
later.
I checked. He was like 29-18 when I wrote this on Sunday. Can they keep up that? Do you think that they could lose 5 to 10 games in a row? Because that squad is terrible. That team is not that good.
Because the thing is also too is remember now they have the 2-game play-in format. So if you're in a 10th spot, so the 10th and 9th play each other to play the 8th seed.
So they did like a wild card.
Yeah.
So they did like a wild card of baseball, but a 1-game wild card.
Yeah.
So basically 9 and 10 play each other, and then whoever wins 9 and 10 plays 8, and whoever wins that game goes to 8.
Correct.
That's kind of fire.
So that's how they do it. I think it should go through a 1/16 format, but that's just me.
Right, just like the tournament. I got it. That makes a bunch of sense. Would it be one and done? Meaning like
no, you would do a series, but I just think it'd be 1 through 16.
Okay.
As opposed to having half of the East barely above 500.
Right.
And you getting all these bums into the thing.
Like you say, potatoes. Because I just I wanted to ask you too, because I just seen this, and we're gonna get into this as well with the trade reports. Is it were the Heat just lucky circumstantially that the East is just absolute garbage to get to the finals last year?
Yes.
Right? Okay. I just want to make sure. Because goddamn, they suck.
They were the 5th.
There needs to be more disparity in the NBA now.
But the West has always dominated the East.
100. I know that. I know.
And then that's why the West All-Star game, the West would dominate the East All-Stars.
So they had to switch it up to that format you were talking about last week.
They had to change it because the East could get slapped by 20 and 15. And they had LeBron, the best player in the planet in the East, during the All-Star game getting slapped. So they had to change it up so they can make it fair.
Okay. What was the best trade that you liked on the deadline for the NBA?
I didn't see anything that made anybody better. Like nobody got moved.
Did Victor Oladipo go to Miami?
Yes, he went to Miami.
Do you think that's a move?
I don't think that moves the needle.
What about? I think I read, and this might be fake news, but LaMarcus Aldridge, was he bought out by the Spurs?
He's gonna get bought out today.
Okay,
so we don't know where he goes yet.
If he goes to
Andre
LA,
Drummond is gonna get bought out too, if I'm not mistaken.
Does he go to the Knicks?
A lot of these guys we don't know yet.
You think that he goes to the Knicks, Drummond, because they're making a push for him?
Who knows? I don't know if I think Drummond might go to the Lakers.
So Drummond over Aldridge, you think goes to the Lakers?
Yeah, because they don't need a power forward in Aldridge because they have Anthony Davis. You don't need that.
But wouldn't it be better? You could get another. You could get basically like another Dwight Howard. You could have a bench player off.
But Aldridge isn't Dwight Howard.
What does that mean? He's better or worse?
He's worse.
Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't this guy like the greatest thing since sliced bread back in the day? What happened? What's happening to these basketball players?
I don't know. He just went to the Spurs and everything just fell off, man.
It seems like maybe he's still got a lot left in the tank because everybody seems like it goes to the Spurs. They mail it in. They used to be so dominant. Is Pop still the coach there?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's time to change that.
Who knows? Because again, we spoke about this before. You got all these guys coming in making $multi-million. Don't want to really work hard. Don't want to be coached hard. They want everything to be catered to them, kind of thing. And who knows? Like Tim Duncan didn't give a fuck. You could scream at him, curse him out, and everything was okay. But you got these guys who are so soft and making $40, $35 million a year, and they're just so fucking soft. Like just everything is soft. Everything has to be catered to. I think the only team I could see that kind of made noise is the Denver Nuggets. They traded for Aaron Gordon and JaVale McGee. They give him some power off the bench. Besides that, like I said, there was no really good trades.
So to like preview it really quickly, you're saying Nets and who?
Nets. It could be Nets Clippers.
Well, they just got Rondo. Do you think Rondo has enough tank in his tank to be of importance?
The shit with Rondo is that he's another guy who's injury prone. So he'll get the Chris Paul aspect where he'll be good and then all of a sudden he'll fracture his pinky, or he'll pull his knee, or he'll have a hangnail. Who's out for 3 weeks.
Jesus Christ.
A lot of these little knick-knack injuries where his hand fracture, and it's just stupid stuff that he just can't stay healthy. It's a weird dynamic, man.
All right, I wanted to go. We'll pass through this quick. I'm sure you're not crazy about it, but yesterday on all Women's Equal Pay Day, the Nuggets Raptor game was covered by a female broadcast. News? Oh, no news. No. Do you care? Do you think it's important for us to get more broadcasters that are female into the space? I mean, we already got refs coming into the NFL. You got. To
be honest, unless you're dope, like I don't really care of any of the broadcasters. Like,
right. I don't even. Who the fuck?
Mike Green and Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. Like, I don't really.
Do you like Miller? Doesn't Reggie Miller do some shit too?
I don't even pay attention to Reggie Miller.
Right. I don't even really pay attention to announcers. Period. I usually have the volume off.
Yeah. Or you have you took a shit with somebody.
Right. I'm not even paying attention. Like, it's not that important. Like in the '90s, like Marv Albert. That's a motherfucking guy that I would be listening to.
Yeah. Like I'll listen to like Super Bowl, or I listen to NBA Finals kind of thing. Right,
but not the everyday
playoffs
game
depending,
shit.
But not a fucking Tuesday night game. Like I don't give a shit about Wednesday night game. That's great for them. If they're dope, I hope it keeps going. But if they suck, I hope they don't just give people things because they suck, and then just because they're women, they're gonna give them more opportunities. So give them maybe 5, 6, 10 games, or whatever the case may be. And if they're good, keep them on. And if they're not, fuck off.
Okay. Did the Seahawks fuck up by not trading Russell Wilson and getting a house for him?
I think Pete Carroll played more to him being old, I think.
Really?
Not really wanting to, because he's 70.
I thought you were talking about Russell. I'm like, fucking Russell's
I'm saying
old.
him himself, like him sitting back probably going, do I really want to start over?
Oh, you're right. That makes sense.
You can understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Do I really want to start with another quarterback? Right. Like you don't win in this league without a quarterback.
100%.
It just doesn't happen.
That's the only thing.
It's a rare thing. Trent Dilford, and probably that's it.
Yeah.
Jeff
Hostetler.
In the modern NFL, anyway. In the modern NFL,
you're not doing jack shit.
So I just think, it could have probably been they could have got a king's ransom depending on where they sent them. Like, if they're gonna keep doing running the ball, play action, you could have got Sam Darnold for that. They could have got maybe the 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a starting player, or even 4 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, and
that's what I'm saying. The house, you could have got a lot of shit for Russ,
and started over from there. And I think the Jets would have been fine. I think them giving up those picks, because when you get a guy like that who's never had a losing season, you're gonna pick in the low or the first round anyway. And you're not going to be really worried about those first round picks. You're going to be you make your meat and potatoes in the second round pick, third round, fourth round is where you hit your little doubles and triples. But Pete Carroll, man, I don't know. I don't know what Russell's going to do. Does Russell? Here's my thing. I don't want in 3 years when Russell's contract is up, he goes and signs another massive extension. Like, don't stop bitching about something. And then you go sign an extension, and then you bitch again. Like,
but I think, to be honest with you, with how the news has been breaking and how things have been happening, I think Russ's numbers are pretty much numbered in the Seahawk world. I don't think he'll sign another big deal there.
Who knows? They come at you $40 million, $45 million a year, $50 million a year. Money talks.
I mean, also too, you got to also bring into the argument he already got a chip, so all he needs to do is keep getting paid.
That's true.
Right. He doesn't. I mean, he already reached the mountaintop. What more?
And top paid quarterbacks don't win chips.
Right. We already discussed that. Okay. Are you excited to see your boy in the white and blue, Kenny Galladay?
No, because we have Danny Dimes, and Danny Dimes is dog shit. So like, it's so bad. Like he's not good.
No.
He's just not good.
No.
And he has 51 turnovers in 25 games. Like, that's a problem.
But hold on. So now let's pretend you had Danny Dimes really, really not with the full compliments of, Joe Judge doing his thing. I know you're not a Saquon Barkley fan, but he comes back. Now you get Galladay. I don't think they signed anybody massive on the offensive line. So we'll see how that works out.
That's the issue. That's my whole problem.
The offensive line sucks.
The offensive line is you want an offensive line and a defensive line, and then a quarterback, and everything works from there. But our fucking offensive line sucks. It sucks. You already got a guy who's not that good at quarterback,
right?
And then you have already a running back who's dynamic, but he's coming off an injury.
Yes.
So you're gonna have him running out of the backfield. Like, who are gonna give enough time? Like
Right.
Kenny Golladay is going to work in the middle of the field. Like Evan Ingram, he's another one who hasn't lived up. He's always flopping. He had 12 drops last season. We did sign Kyle Rudolph, and then supposedly he had a foot injury.
Right, that was what? I don't even know who the Kyle Rudolph is. I'm like, bro.
I don't even know what they're going to do. I like our defense. I think we shored up our defense. Our defense was fucking fantastic last year. Let's see what we do, man.
The only good news for you guys is that division is patty.
Yep.
So
because Washington's defense is going to be insane.
Yes.
But they don't have. I'm assuming Fitzmagic starts.
Yes.
And if Fitzmagic starts, that's better for us. I'll take it.
I don't know about that. I just don't think he has the weapons to throw to. But I like Terry McLaurin.
He has two stud receivers now.
Right.
But I'm saying it's better for us because he's hot and cold. If he has expectations, he shrinks. Fitzmagic. No expectations, he flourishes. He has a losing record. He's like 54 and like 85. Like,
wow. So that's crazy. That's that. All right, we're gonna get, because we hear the police in the background over there on your side. So Chase Claypool in a huge bar fight. Did you see the video reported by TMZ? So
yeah, I did.
First of all, he's a mammoth of a man. He looks so small on TV next to other big dudes. Next to regular folks, he looked gigantic. So I don't know. Is it cause for pause? One of your star NFL players. I'm talking about Steelers. Is he gonna get suspended? Is this gonna happen?
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure, he's getting suspended. I don't. 4
game suspension, half a season.
Maybe depends on how that guy is. He kicked the guy in the face,
right?
Like, you don't know, and what if that guy presses charges, kind of thing.
I'm surprised he wouldn't be pressing charges. I'd be fucking going after homeboy for a civil lawsuit.
Sure. I don't get these guys, man. I don't get these guys. Like,
stay low, stay out of the fucking way, bro. You're a multi-million-dollar guy or about to be. Do not get into shit. Why in the fuck is that so hard to do?
I don't get it. I'm gonna stay in my crib. I'm gonna get a nice little dope crib, and I'm gonna have everybody come to me. You're gonna have everybody vetted. If I don't know you, you ain't pulling in. Shorties, you pulling up. You sign the NDAs, and I'm gonna have cameras in all the rooms. You're gonna know there's cameras everywhere. So I don't want to hear that there's any sexual assault allegations. We're going to just chill and have fun in my controlled environment. I don't get why these guys go out and just get into some shit. Like, if I know some shit's about to go down,
I'm dipping.
I'm out. And if the media or people call you pussy or call you soft,
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I'm not fucking with my money. Now he might be potentially messing with his dough. No, it's okay. Keep the sirens on. Keep the sirens on. Fuck it. That's how we know we're real. My man H is in the hood, kid. It's either the fire department or I figured they're the only ones that fucking beast with that shit because the PD likes to slow up creeping. He's just trying to probably pass a light.
But these guys are fucking. I don't know. I mean, I don't get these guys. I don't get any of these guys, man.
And it's crazy because he has a sensational rookie career. 62 catches. 873 yards, 11 TDs. He was jumping off the screen. He was probably one of the hottest pickups on free agency. He's going to be turning the team around. I mean, they turned into a passing team, which is something that they're not really known for because he was so hot. And then, boom, you kick somebody in the face.
Right in the face. So, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, God damn it. NFL guys.
It infuriates me, man.
It does too, because you're just fucking with your money, bro. For me, I just won $1 million, I would be the lowest laying motherfucker in the building.
Of all time. You move in silence, man. Most of these guys were smart. They move in silence.
Yep.
And you got Chase when he's a young kid, and he probably
that was some college shit for sure. That was some dumb young shit to do.
Super dumb. Super dumb.
All right, let's go to Critic's Corner. We are 1-5. 1-5, baby. We're killing it. We're not doing too good. We were 0-4. Thank God last week we did I Don't Care, which was great. This week is up. Zack Snyder's Justice League Director's Cut I got to go to you because I know you're going to fucking destroy it. By the way, to depravy him a little bit, Zack Snyder was responsible for doing the Dawn of the Dead, 300, Watchmen, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman. Before you annihilate the movie, what did you think about his resume?
Oh, Man of Steel was Christopher Nolan.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. No, Man of Steel?
Look it up.
Christopher Nolan.
I swear to God. I got this. No. He's the director. I'm telling you, he's the executive producer. No, he's the executive producer who directed the film was Zack Snyder.
Yeah, but that's why I think Man of Steel was a little soft too.
Man of Steel was great. I would have to say out of Batman vs Superman, what was it missing?
What? Oh, wait, hold on. Let's just stick to the topic. Justice League.
Go.
Was fucking horrendous. One of the worst superhero movies ever made.
Worse than the first one?
They both sucked.
Okay. Not one more than the other.
They both were equally bad.
Done. Okay.
The reason why is you just had one that was longer than the other.
Okay.
And more dark than the other.
Okay.
It's fucking dog shit. Every scene.
Tell me. Go. I want to hear
every
why.
fight scene was slow motion. Every single scene. Every single one. Spoiler alert.
We didn't put that on our last video, Coming to America. We got to start putting the spoiler alerts because fools be thinking it's spoiler free, but not on this.
Spoiler. Justice League had to be the worst superhero movie of all time. It's up there with Daredevil.
Wow.
Green Lantern.
Well, we could blame it all on Ben Affleck, if that's the case.
Bro. The scene where the Flash was going to get a job. And he saw the shorty in the car, and then he ran out to get the shorty. What was that for? Like, it had nothing to do with the movie at all. She didn't show up before. She had no meaning in the entire movie. I didn't need to see him go safer, move 7 hot dogs out the way. It was okay. Put one in his pocket, go back in, drop her in the ground, then go back in and sit with the fucking dogs. That shit was completely useless and a waste of probably $40 million of a scene.
But they were trying to set up that's his shorty.
For what?
For Flash the movie.
First of all, he's a whack-ass Flash.
He's a horrible Flash.
First of all, he's a whack-ass. They should have used the homeboy from the TV show. He would have been fucking more easy to digest than him.
He's amazing. That kid has made me cry. Seriously. The kid on the Flash CW.
The show? Even though the show, that's another thing where...
Right. I mean, I think you said it the best. 3 seasons in, it was great.
Good.
Then they started to regurgitate the same storyline.
I thought they basically extended Wonder Woman 1984 into this film as well.
Right.
Everything was just super long, slow motion. The fight scenes were all whack. The CGI looked like it was from Sharknado. You would think a big budget film, a film from a big studio, would have better CGI and graphics.
But you also got to take into consideration, right? This movie was, let's say, halfway done, right? On Zack Snyder's side. Then they only gave him another $70 million to complete it. So it was a half of a film that he went back and redid. So it wasn't that they didn't give their best efforts. Is that, again, Warner Brothers is fucking around with the director's visions. Now, granted, Zack Snyder had to leave the project for a different reason because of his daughter committing suicide, and also Deborah Snyder was a producer, so they both walked away. Here comes in Josh Whedon, ruined it. I think this is a prelude. If I'm DC, I pack it up. Yes. You cannot compete with Marvel.
They already said they're not doing a Justice League 2.
That's now. They'll reboot it in a few years because there's just too much money on the table.
Depends on who's going to take over it.
So this is the thing. So now for Justice League, the next project is The Flash. Okay? First of all, First of all, that kid stinks as the Flash. Second of all, they called out to Michael Keaton to bring him back to help resuscitate the franchise because now they're introducing the multiverse. So with the multiverse, there could be multiple Batmans. All right, I think Ben Affleck's also going to have a cameo in it. But now Michael Keaton doesn't want to do it.
It's trash.
Okay, there you go.
It's very trash. It's very trash. The fact that you got to do old Batman as a multiverse, and there's gonna be an old Batman, a new Batman, a different Batman. I like even the end of the movie when.
What Batman about that one? That was like the best part of the whole movie. Give it to that at least. No,
that shit was dumb too. Like the homeboy goes, "I dare you say something again." And then the homeboy suns him, and he don't do nothing. So, like, what was the point of that? Would have been dope was if he would have fucking bataranged his throat and cut it open right there in the fucking spot. But no, it was stupid. He tried to press him, make him look tough, and say, if you say something another word, I'm gonna fuck you up.
All right, what about Joker? Did you like Leto's Joker? Did you like anybody who was cast for any of these positions?
No, I thought. I liked Aquaman because he was. I thought Aquaman and Wonder Woman, the first one, are the only good DC movies.
Yes, out of the franchise.
Batman versus Superman, Dawn of whatever, that shit was dog shit too. Like, boy, that shit was bad. Made no sense. And then they had for whatever reason, they had a lot of post-apocalyptic visions of something else that's supposed to be happening. And then Superman's evil and blah, 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 blah. And he's fucking Final Destination premonition, seeing shit into the future. And like, what are you doing? Make it real simple. Like, make it dope. Like, I don't know if anybody's seen it yet. We'll talk about this when it's concluded. Winter Soldier and Falcon,
fire.
We'll talk about it when it's done.
Episode 1, unbelievable. One of the best. One of the best. I couldn't even believe it. How can a TV show smack a movie
with an unlimited budget? Basically, smacked the Justice League. I thought Ben Affleck is a whack ass Batman.
Garbage.
Like, watching Justice League, I didn't see anything new. There was nothing new that I was like, wow, he did this or he explained that. It was just a whole bunch. All right, this is darker. Oh, this is a little longer. Like, you launched a 4-hour film that was dog shit. Like, Avengers Endgame is 3.5 hours, but that shit is fire from beginning to end. And it takes you on a roller coaster of emotions, up and down, and then it ended fire. I thought Justice League was really bad. And I got people saying it was good. I got people rating it 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. And I'm like, am I missing something? Like I don't get it. I don't get people's
we've established that you have a very high bar when it comes to films.
But here's my issue too, because like you even try to give it an excuse. It's not my job to critique a film, what could have happened and why it did not happen.
But that you gotta weigh that into it.
No. You released a film, you had it premiered, you had people watch it, and you still released the shit anyway. So it's not like you film it, cut it, put it out. That's like, I'm pretty sure you had streaming sessions. I'm pretty sure there were people on set was like, yo, this shit is, I ain't gonna front, this shit is kind of whack. Like, what? Like, why is Cyborg doing this thing? Like, the Flash is kind of corny, trying to force comedy in certain things.
I didn't understand what I was, so funny as a potential filmmaker and looking at casting, I was like, what part of the comic book that you read, what part of the character that you endorsed that you felt that he had to be zingy and like punchliney, right? Like,
I think,
oh my God,
like,
this is the Batcave.
He's like that in comic books, but make it like tasteful.
But this guy, I forget the actor's name that did it in the CW. He doesn't deliver it at all like that. He delivers it like a legitimate character. Yeah. Like, Flash is serious now. Like, why did you have to go backwards? We don't want potentially the Flash from the 70s, right? And it's supposed to be, this first of all, this universe that Zack Snyder took a look at and tried to put forward is very much in the lines of Frank Miller. Frank Miller's Sin City, Frank Miller's Watchmen, Frank Miller is Batman versus Superman, right? Or Batman Returns. And then the Batman Returns is when they have that epic fight scene with Batman and Superman. Then if it's dark, why do we have comedy? Right? Like, I don't understand. Like, you're forcing comedy. It's a serious movie. There was no need. I thought Miller's performance was the worst. I liked Ray Fisher's performance and what they did with that character and how they try to, resuscitate Cyborg and the backstory on him. I thought it was more interesting. But overall, I mean, I agree with you. It was an okay film. I'm a visual junkie, and I just enjoyed all the visuals. Now, granted, when they're fighting in Themyscira, That background looked like green screen like a motherfucker. Okay, I was like, this is terrible. I also did like Steppenwolf's character, better looking. He looked more like an animal, like a beast, into the other version that it was weird. I thought it was kind of cool to at least see, because we're never gonna see this again. To see, I was gonna call him Deathstroke, but not Deathstroke. What's the dude with the U on his chest, the Omega on his chest? Darkseid. Yeah, and I know you don't know. You're not a nerd enough. Darkseid, because you're only a Marvel guy, Avengers only. But to watch Darkseid and then see a little bit of the Green Lantern, I thought another thing. Again, the studio fucked with it again because Ryan Reynolds was supposed to make a cameo, and that was gonna be in the film too. Warner Brothers just needs to get the fuck out of their way. That's the problem. It's not what you were saying, that you're saying like they need to go find. Because by the way, executive producer on this film was Nolan also. He has been overlooking all of these projects. Now that they went straight to streaming, he said, fuck yeah, I'm not fucking with y'all no more. But they're overdoing it. Also, tell me this. This was the one that was bothering me the most about this film. Why is it everything seems to be copying Avengers? Right? They have Thanos. Now we have, Darkseid. They have Apocalypse ending. Now the end of the world is... Like, go with something original. Try to do something.
There's thousands and thousands of comic books, and they just did a shit job.
And they were rushing to the end. Like, first of all, Man of Steel 2, which is Batman versus Superman, why did it have to involve Batman? Like, I know they were trying to do the multiverse shit, but why don't you do another cool Superman movie? Right? Like, maybe you do more of a science fiction shit where he goes back to... Like, Superman Returns was trash, too. I don't know if you've seen that one.
That was horrible.
Right.
With the plane?
Yeah.
That's just bad.
Maybe do a movie in between that. Maybe show a movie about him learning more about his planet. Maybe going to Krypton or going to outer space or doing something out of the box. I don't know. Overall, I thought it was entertaining. I paid $14.99, and they keep giving me movies that I don't have to go pay in the theater or hack off the internet, which I'm okay with. I had low expectations, and it surpassed my low expectations. It was entertaining, ish.
Really?
But I just like watching easy stuff. I'm not saying that I wasn't critical about it. I was critical on it. I think
I like to watch easy stuff too. Like, but what I'm saying is, like, I'll never say something that's dookie is okay. Like, I've watched like a lot of dookie shows, but I'll never say, yo, this shit is good and I recommend you watch it.
No,
I'll never do that.
First of all, I would never say anybody to recommend and watch it. I would only recommend watching it so that it could give you, as a DC fan, closure, that you could see all of this come to an end. Because in my opinion, it's over.
Give closure. It makes you want to slit your wrist.
That's closure. It's called the end. Suicide is the ending.
I don't know. That shit is bad. I don't know. That shit was really bad. And if you have to make 7,000 excuses why the film could have been better, the film isn't good. I don't care what the budget is. I don't care how limited his creativity is.
No, but you gotta bring that into the fold because obviously Avengers, when they do Avengers, okay.
You know why? That's
bullshit? They don't get involved.
Deadpool 1 had a shitty ass budget and they made that shit fire.
Yeah, but
shit when you have $100 million, $200 million budget and you fuck it up. I don't want to hear that.
They had only $70 million, first of all, to redo the movie. That's not enough. Obviously,
but what are you going to redo if the movie's trash? You got to do the entire thing over. Like, all right. We can't mess this up either. Snyder filmed 90% of the movie. So let's not make it seem like Homeboy only did 10% and then had to fill 90%. He did 90% of the movie. So let's not make it seem like...
Right. He did 50%. And then some other dude.
We're not doing that. And, that's what I'm saying. You cannot absolve...
I thought it was better than Josh Whedon's picture. So if I thought
they both were dog shit. Just one was light and one was dark. That's it. And one had extra slow motion and one had regular slow motion. That's it. Every fight was a slow motion fight. Every single one. What is it? The Matrix on steroids?
But you know what though? That is the kind of it's so funny that you're bringing that up. When the Matrix came out, and we'll start to end it now so that we can get to work on this, but when I watched The Matrix, I almost cried because I knew it was the end. Once The Matrix came out, every movie did 360 slow motion fucking camera tricks. Everybody went for this over-the-top action. Like, even Wonder Woman, I know she's Wonder Woman, but I'm like, damn, girl, you like punching fools like all over the place, like they fly that far. Like, there's nothing realistic anymore. Nothing is a grounded film. Everything is just over the top.
Even with her, like everything, she was landing slow motion, and then they'll play the fucking music. the whole time, every single scene with Wonder Woman. I'm like, oh my god, like, boy, this shit is so corny. Yeah, shit was so bad, like so bad. So bad. Because the thing is, I'm upset because Wonder Woman 1 was dope and Aquaman 1 was dope and everything else has been dog shit.
I tell you this, and now looking back at it, I don't think Wonder Woman 1 was dope. I thought it was okay. I think the surrounding cast elevated the performance because it was the same thing in that shit. Every 5 seconds she had an opportunity, slow motion, hit the theme song, and we're ready to go. And she had no lines.
But like it was still better to watch. It's more entertaining. I would recommend that movie as opposed to this movie. I would never recommend this movie.
I would recommend Aquaman. That's about it. All that stuff is just, I don't know. And again, they just made it way too dark. I mean, thank God we've seen Batman with Christopher Nolan. They should have dropped it at that. The Dark Knight was the greatest, DC film of all time. They should have stopped.
And the sucky part is that if Christian Bale wasn't a bitch, there was supposed to be 3 more. Really? Like, we don't know where it was gonna go. It was supposed to be 6 films, but it was like he signed a 3 film deal, then with a potential another 3 film deal. But he just said that Batman.
I don't know why everybody gets like that.
Because I don't want to be remembered as Batman.
I would have bro. If I could switch gears and do like 19 Batmans, I would switch gears and be the fucking face.
I don't get
Batman.
it. Like Iron Man got it. Is set for the rest of his life as being Iron Man.
Thank you. I was just gonna say Robert got it. He's like fucking.
And then in the middle of Iron Man's and all these Avengers shits, he dropped a dope ass movie, the Lawyer movie, with his
is it the Judge? Oh no, Zach Galifianakis.
No. The Due Date was fire. That was funny as fuck.
It was hilarious.
With Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
He dropped that fire
the
shit.
Judge.
And the
it's
Judge
called
shit.
The Judge. That's what it's called.
That shit.
And he dropped Sherlock Holmes. The first one I thought was amazing. The second one not so much.
Yeah, second one was whack.
Yeah.
And luckily, like let's put it like this. Like even Lucho, I'm reading the chat. Look at Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. That shit was fire. And that didn't. I'm pretty sure that budget wasn't OD crazy.
It wasn't, but they got a good cast. And
they got a good director,
but they didn't get involved. They didn't get involved. Every time the Warner Brothers has been fucking up a lot of movies because the executives get involved. Did you see now what the girl is saying? One of the execs who's not even in charge of shit. She's like, oh, people are talking so much shit about this because I guess she was trying to address how people are having a backlash about there being a toxic workplace on Justice League to begin with after Zack Snyder's departure, and there's just too many execs. Get out of the way and let the people do. That's one thing I got to say about the Marvel universe. Like, even Marvel got it. They're like, you know what? We sold all of our rights. Let's make our own studio. Because up until that point, Spider-Man was kind of weak sauce. Fantastic Four was garbage. X-Men was garbage. So they were like, we're going to do our own shit because everybody keeps fucking up our shit. And then once they did that, they started doing better. That's the thing. DC needs to fucking buy their own studio and walk away from the Warner Brothers studio shit. Because the moment they keep doing all that bullshit, there's just too many hands in the cookie jar. Let the guy make it and let us see what happens. And if it sucks, it sucks. You can put it all on the director. And then Twitter doesn't get crazy like, release the Snyder cut, release the Ayers cut, release the director's cut. Like, bro, either it's fire or not. Like you said, you doing it, you could tell. Like, bro, we look at our own shit. I look at it, I laugh. I said, this shit is fire. This shit is fire. You got to see your own work and not be like, this shit is whack. And it's whack.
I don't know how anybody didn't say, yo, this shit is kind of dookie. I don't think we should do a re-release. And supposedly he didn't get paid. Supposedly.
Who? Snyder did it for free?
Snyder, he just did it.
Pro bono. To finish his work like it was open.
Yeah, to finish it.
Yeah.
For the fans. And you got all these fans pouring out he did a fantastic job.
The receipt, listen, Rotten Tomato gave it a fucking 75. Twitter's been fucking stroking it for fucking days.
Listen,
everybody's
Rotten
doing
Tomato,
a review.
The crazy Rotten Tomato gave Dave Chappelle's show a 0.
Right.
I would fuck Rotten Tomato.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the overall.
No, I know.
You're in the minority is what I'm saying about your argument, which is crazy.
For sure.
Because I'm with you. I don't think it was great. I thought for eye candy and enjoying it a little bit, I took it with a grain of salt. I knew it was going to be terrible. It was already terrible to begin with. You know what I mean? I knew that it was going to get better. But I thought, for me to see different characters and see different shit, Doom's Dark Side, and to see, Leto get it. Even Leto said they fucked his shit up. Leto's a phenomenal actor. And they did the Suicide Squad, and they said they cut 50% of his scenes. So it just proves to me that Warner Brothers keeps getting in the way of their own shit. And now they got this new Suicide Squad coming out, and I'm like, okay, what are we doing?
I already know that's gonna be whack. Like I would say like Transformers. Look at the CGI now. All the CGI on that shit is fire.
Yeah, but you know how much that shit cost? That shit is like fucking 100. By the way, that plane scene in Return of Superman was $300 million to do that plane scene.
And it was terrible.
Horrible.
But what I'm saying is that if you get the right director, like Michael Bay will make an entertaining film even if it's whack.
I agree with that statement a lot.
So you could get Michael Bay. Could have got Michael Bay to do Justice League. It would have been fire.
It would have probably been way more
dope ass shit.
Yes,
you know it would have been.
Well, they got Guardians. They're trying to do it now. They got the guy who did the Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, James Gunn, who was fucking like taken off of social media and was put in a corner for saying some crazy shit about minors, and now he's doing Suicide Squad. So now is that the thing now? Are they gonna have to get more notoriable or more directors with notoriety to start doing these films? That way they don't get pushed back by the studios, because the studios are fucking up these films. To be honest with you, and the casting is terrible. To be honest with you, Batman is not. I mean, sorry, Warner Brothers. Batman is Ben Affleck. He's a good Bruce Wayne. He's not a great Batman.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Well, I could act like a fucking entitled drunk. Thank you. That's easy. Right? And you know what? As we tie this all together, I just finished watching Christopher Reeve's Superman. Man, I miss this dude. I can't believe he made such an amazing movie, and the CGI, when you watch it, is terrible. But his acting as Clark Kent and as Superman is amazing. Henry Cavill, I love the dude, but he's only Superman. The other part,
he's not Clark Kent.
No. What you got to show the duality with these characters. So maybe they need to call up Leonardo DiCaprio or somebody like that. They need to get a serious director and some real serious actors. I mean, John Cena is in Suicide Squad 2. That's right
that
there.
Says enough right there.
Right there, it's over. All right. What besides what was it? Limelight? What's homeboy's name? Bright Light? What's Anthony's name?
Antonio. Nightlight.
Nightlight. So we crashed. What do we got?
We got. In today's world, people believe it's a microwave relationships. That's my pops. He was talking about how we were about teaching our kids stuff and spankings and stuff like that. We have Felix in the building.
Wow.
Felix talk about the slow motion.
What did he say? What did he say about the slow mo? Because that
is trash. And Lucho's in here talking about Wonder Woman 1 was good. Felix said Jared Leto was trash as Joker. That's why even no amount of cutscenes is gonna save him.
Don't tell him that, because he believes that he's the best actor since sliced bread. Jared Leto is gonna fucking petition for him to make another Joker movie.
Word, I agree.
All right,
but we'll go back to you guys next week. We're gonna watch what movie are we doing next week?
We're doing Cherry, and it's out on Apple TV. I think this movie is phenomenal. It's one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. I can't wait to Hollow Clutch Destroy Me on it. I love Tom Holland. This movie is about a war veteran who gets addicted to heroin, and you would have never thought this. And I gotta say, Tom Holland's camp, kudos for you guys to even letting this guy do such a off-kilter kind of film. And again, these guys do it again. Joe and Anthony Russo, amazing directors.
We're gonna check that out. So make sure you guys check it out. So next week, if you guys come around for Critics Corner, you could get an idea of what we're talking about. But again, thank you guys for chilling with us, hanging out with us. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram. Hit that subscribe button, that like button. Make sure you guys turn the notification bells on for YouTube so you guys can watch us live every Thursday. Yeah.
Stay safe. Stay healthy. Thank you for listening.
Peace, baby.
Peace.